I never thought in my life that something like this could happen to me. Not with a teacher. Not in real life. But it happened.
What?
Hi, my name is Kai. I'm 17 years old, studying in the 11th grade. This is the full story of how my literature teacher, Miss Evelyn, completely turned my world upside down and made me feel the strongest shame, excitement, fear, and guilt I've ever experienced. Miss Evelyn is 24 years old. She started working at our school this year right after graduating from university. When she first entered our classroom, almost the entire class went quiet. She is tall, has long dark wavy hair, bright blue eyes, a very beautiful face, and a figure that immediately caught the attention of all the guys. She always dressed elegantly, fitted blouses, pencil skirts, sometimes with high heels. She looked young, confident, smart, and incredibly attractive. From the first week, the guys started calling her the hot teacher in secret chats. I was never one of those who openly stared at her. I sat in the back row, did my homework quietly, and tried not to stand out. But everything changed after one ordinary lesson. I had written an essay on the topic Forbidden Feelings. I stayed after class to ask her to check it. When all the other students left, the classroom became completely empty and quiet. I walked up to her desk and handed her the papers. She started reading silently. I stood there nervously, shifting from foot to foot. After a few minutes, she raised her eyes and looked at me with a strange, soft smile. You write very boldly, Kai. These descriptions of internal conflict, desire, and shame, they feel very real. Almost too real for a 17-year-old boy. My face instantly became hot. I felt incredibly embarrassed. She noticed my reaction and her smile became even warmer, but there was something else in her eyes. Curiosity mixed with interest. Sit down, she said quietly, pointing to the chair next to her desk. I sat down. My hands were cold. My heart was beating fast. She leaned forward slightly and asked in a low, calm voice, Tell me honestly, when you write about wanting someone you can't have, about constant thoughts and guilt, do you write this because you really feel it, or is it just imagination? I couldn't answer right away. The question hit me hard. The classroom was dead silent. She was looking straight into my eyes, waiting for an answer. I felt like she could see right through me. I don't know, I mumbled finally, looking at the floor. She didn't say anything for a few seconds. Then she smiled gently and said, It's okay, you don't have to answer now. But if you ever want to talk about it, I'm here. That conversation became the starting point. After that day, Miss Evelyn started paying much more attention to me. She often asked me to stay after class to discuss my writing. At first, we really talked about literature, but over time the conversations became longer, deeper, and much more personal. She told me how difficult it was for her to move to a new city, how lonely she sometimes felt, how hard it was to be a young teacher and not have close people to talk to. I started opening up to her too, about my problems, doubts, and feelings. One evening, when it was already getting dark outside, she asked me to help her carry several heavy boxes of books to the storage room. We were completely alone. The door was closed. While I was putting one of the boxes on the top shelf, she suddenly stood right behind me. Her body lightly touched my back. I froze. You're so tall and strong, she whispered softly near my ear. I turned around quickly and found myself face to face with her. She didn't step back. We were standing very close. I could smell her pleasant perfume. My face instantly turned red. I tried to step back, but there was a shelf behind me. She looked me straight in the eyes and said quietly, Why are you always so nervous when you're alone with me, Kai? I felt an enormous wave of shame. I wanted to fall through the floor, but at the same time I couldn't move. She saw how lost I was and gently touched my arm. I'm sorry if I make you uncomfortable. It's just, I feel very calm and good when you're around. That moment I felt something I had never felt before. A mixture of strong shame, fear, and strange excitement. After that evening in the storage room, everything became much more intense. Miss Evelyn started texting me. At first, the messages were innocent, about homework, books, or asking how my day was. But gradually they became more personal. She would write late at night. I can't sleep, thinking about our conversation today. Or, you look cute today when you got embarrassed in class. Every time I read her messages, I felt a strong mix of shame and excitement. I knew this was wrong. She was my teacher. I was her student. If anyone found out, it would be a disaster for both of us. But I couldn't stop replying. I waited for her messages every evening. One day after the last lesson, she asked me to stay again. When everyone left, she closed the door and looked at me with a serious expression. Kai, I need to tell you something important. My heart started pounding. I know I'm older than you, I know this is completely inappropriate, but I can't stop thinking about you. When I see you in class, I lose focus. When you smile at me, I feel things I shouldn't feel. She stepped closer to me, very close. I'm trying to fight it, but it's getting harder every day. I stood there like a statue, blushing heavily. I wanted to say that we should stop, but the words wouldn't come out. She gently took my hand and placed it on her waist. "Do you feel this tension too?" she whispered. I nodded, unable to speak. My hand was trembling on her waist. She smiled softly and moved even closer. I could feel the warmth of her body. Her face was just a few centimeters from mine. For a few seconds, we just looked at each other. Then she slowly leaned in and kissed me on the corner of my lips. It was very light, almost teasing, but it hit me like lightning. I pulled back immediately, breathing heavily. "Miss Evelyn, we can't." My voice was shaking. She looked a little hurt, but she didn't get angry. She just nodded and said quietly, "I know, I'm sorry, I keep crossing the line." After that, she tried to keep more distance in class, but the tension between us only grew stronger. She would look at me for long seconds during lessons. Sometimes she would bite her lip when our eyes met. I started having trouble sleeping. Every night I thought about her kiss, her touch, her words. I felt like the worst person in the world. I was ashamed of myself. I felt guilty towards my parents, towards the school, towards her. But I couldn't stop wanting to be near her. One rainy evening, she texted me, "Can you come to the classroom? I need to talk to you. It's important." When I arrived, the classroom was dimly lit. She was sitting on the edge of her desk, looking nervous. As soon as I closed the door, she stood up and walked straight to me. "I can't do this anymore, Kai," she said with a trembling voice. "I tried to stop. I really tried." Then she hugged me tightly, her body pressed against mine. I could feel her heart beating fast. "I know it's wrong, but I want you," she whispered into my ear. That moment I felt the strongest shame I had ever experienced. My mind was screaming that I needed to leave immediately, but my body didn't listen. I stood there, hugging my teacher back, feeling completely lost. After that emotional conversation in the empty classroom, everything became even more complicated and painful. Miss Evelyn tried to keep her distance. For a few days, she almost didn't look at me during lessons. She stopped texting me at night. She even started calling me Mr. Kai, again in front of the class, like a normal student. But the tension between us didn't disappear. It only became heavier. Every time our eyes met, even for a second, I felt a strong wave of shame. I felt like everyone in the class could see what was happening. I started skipping her lessons, pretending to be sick. But then she wrote me a message. "If you keep avoiding me, people will start noticing. Please come to class tomorrow." I went. During the lesson, she looked normal and professional. But when she handed back my homework, her fingers lightly touched mine. That small touch sent electricity through my whole body. I felt disgusted with myself. I felt excited. I felt guilty. That same evening, she texted me again. "Can you come to the classroom after the last lesson? Just for 10 minutes. I need to talk to you. It's important." I knew I shouldn't go, but I went anyway. When I entered, the lights were dimmed again. She was sitting on the edge of her desk, looking tired and nervous. As soon as I closed the door, she stood up and walked straight towards me. "I tried, Kai. I really tried to stop thinking about you, but I can't." She hugged me tight, burying her face in my shoulder. I felt her body trembling slightly. "I know I'm your teacher. I know this could destroy both of us. But when I'm with you, I forget about all of this." She pulled back a little and looked me in the eyes. Her face was very close. "Do you feel the same way? Or am I just imagining everything?" I couldn't lie. My voice was shaking when I answered. "I feel it too, but I'm scared." She smiled sadly and gently stroked my cheek. "I'm scared too, but I can't stop." Then she kissed me, not on the cheek this time, on the lips, softly at first, then deeper. For a few seconds, I completely lost control. I kissed her back. My hands were on her waist. I felt her body pressed against mine. That moment, the shame hit me like a truck. I suddenly realized what I was doing. I was kissing my teacher in the classroom. I pulled away sharply, breathing heavily. "We can't. This is too much," I said, my voice breaking. She looked hurt, but she nodded. "I know. I'm sorry. I keep losing control when I'm with you." After that, we sat in silence for a long time. She held my hand and didn't let go. "I don't want to ruin your life, Kai, or mine. Maybe we should stop before something irreversible happens." But even while saying that, she was gently running her fingers through my hair. The next few weeks were pure torture. We tried to keep distance, but it didn't work. Small touches, long looks, secret messages at night. Everything continued. I felt constant shame. I started having trouble sleeping. I felt like a bad person. I felt like I was betraying everyone. Now I'm sitting here writing this, and I still don't know what to do. Should I tell someone? Should I completely cut off contact with her? Or do I want this forbidden thing to continue? I feel lost. I feel ashamed. I feel excited. I feel guilty every single day. What would you do if you were in my place? Be honest in the comments. Because right now, I really don't know how this story is going to end.